Now, for press and online reactions to the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy, I'm now joined by Florence Villeminot. Hello.
Good morning, Claire.
Florence, you're starting off with a UK paper.
That's right, The Independent. It's on the front pages of a lot of papers today. The Independent says shock and awe, and there's a whole series there of very impressive photos during the hurricane, well, superstorm, and afterwards. Also in the International Herald Tribune today, it's on their front page. They say a daunting recovery begins. They also have several impressive photos, one, for instance, of Atlantic City in New Jersey, which, as we know, was much underwater, cars piled up in Wall Street. Now, the Wall Street Journal Europe also has a very impressive photo today. There you see a Virgin Mary, a statue, standing among the hurricane wreckage. So a lot of papers today are showing these impressive photos. Now, damage has been estimated at $20 billion, and recovery is going to be quite slow. Now, a lot of organizations are keeping updates on social media sites like Twitter. For instance, here's a tweet by the MTA, so the subway authority in New York City, that says express buses will be operating nearly normal tomorrow. So that's going to be today. And customers should be prepared for detours due to road and tunnel conditions. FEMA also is keeping updates regularly. FEMA, of course, is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Here are some safety tips, for instance. Don't walk or wade through flood water. It can contain harmful chemicals, toxins, and even raw sewage.
Okay, now we're going to look at some reactions on some of the social networks, and there's been some criticism about the way some of the media's been covering this.
That's right. There's been some criticism, first of all, because a lot of media relied heavily on Twitter, for instance, and sometimes they reported things that turned out weren't true in the end. For instance, they initially reported that the stock exchange was underwater. A lot of criticism also for the way media sent their reporters right into the thick of things. For instance, here's an article in The Atlantic that argues for a case against sending TV reporters out into the hurricanes. And here's a photo that a screen grab of something we were seeing a lot of yesterday. Reporters, up to their knees in water. According to this article, it doesn't really add anything in terms of journalistic value. Basically, it just, adds to the drama. Their safety is imperiled. And as you can see in the background, you see these guys jumping around behind them. It just draws people to try to be on television behind them.
Now, you've also got some reactions in the media to how the federal government is handling the situation.
That's right. Now, so far, the response has been pretty positive. It seems that the government responded quite quickly. And one example of that is the fact that the governor of New Jersey, Christie, he has applauded Obama for his reaction. And he's a Republican. He's a big supporter of Mitt Romney. Now, he took to Twitter to say, I want to thank the president personally for all his assistance as we recover from the storm.
And that takes us nicely into the next little segment. We're looking also at specifically what the aftermath means for the different candidates. Obviously, they're having to rethink their strategies.
That's right. Well, they put their campaigns on hold. Romney is going back on the campaign trail today. Obama's waiting until tomorrow. A lot of people are wondering, how is this going to affect them? Now, Romney has drawn a lot of criticism for comments he made back in 2011 during the Republican Party primary. At that time, he said that FEMA, so the Federal Emergency Management Agencies, he said that their budget should be cut and that emergency actions should belong to the state. He said that it should be a state matter, not a federal matter. And so the New York Times, in their opinion pages, in their editorial actually, they said that what happened with Sandy is proof that Romney's wrong, that, in fact, a big storm requires a big government. That is the editorial of the New York Times. And it's interesting to note also an article that's coming out of New York Magazine, which is saying that Democrats should actually try to politicize Sandy. There's been a lot of coverage saying that both candidates are trying to not look like they're electioneering here. But this article in New York Magazine says that Democrats should, because this is proof that, for instance, Romney's budget, the one he wants to put forward, could actually be bad in the long run.
Now, Romney and Obama have been neck and neck in the polls, and so some papers are saying now that this storm could tip the balance.
That's right. That's in The Independent, their editorial today. It says that Sandy could indeed tip the balance. Now, it says, for instance, that Barack Obama, he's in the spotlight right now. If he continues to act presidential the way he is, that could give him the much-needed nudge he needs. But a lot could still go wrong, and the fact that a lot of Democrats won't be able to get perhaps to polling stations because they're damaged, that might just help Romney.
Okay, Florence Villeminot, thank you very much for that.